Okay, look. First of all, I'm gonna do this like Chris Rock and Uptown Comedy Express. First of all, I want to start with the people I don't want to thank. I don't want to think that asshole Peter Moore, that piece of shit, was president of Sega, 1999, and Shenmue sells like 1.5 million copies on the American Dreamcast after it gets hyped up for the 2 years. And what does this asshole do? Sells the rights to Shenmue 2 to Microsoft and discontinues the fucking Dreamcast like a fucking asshole. So the whole selling point of Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 is that your save games will transfer over from Shenmue 1 over to Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast, naturally, right? That's the English version. And this asshole sells the English version to motherfucking Microsoft like an asshole. Look, here's the thing. You want these dickhead nerds or whatever, like you want to slam the English voice acting in Shenmue, alright, on Dreamcast, but it was entertaining. And we're just coming off the era where people played full motion video games like Night Trap and Sewer Shark. So whatever you think of that voice acting, which is total bullshit anyway, because voice acting isn't good in most cartoons and it was still classics. Whatever you think of it, it was still entertaining just because there was voice acting at all. And most fucking RPGs and adventure games didn't have full voice acting in the Shenmue era, 1999. So it was entertaining in and of itself. So yeah, people still like the English version, even if they're not fucking weebos and anime nerds like reading subtitles all the fucking time. The voice acting was good in Shenmue 1 and 2. So people still like playing Shenmue 1 in English. I played it in English. I had imported the Japanese version. I played backwards and forwards for over a year, the Japanese version. Not that it's not good, it's good, but you still want your own native language in a goddamn game, okay? Regardless of how good or bad the Japanese acting was. I had that version, and then I had to get the European version of Shenmue 2 because this fucking asshole Peter Moore sold us out, fucked up the Dreamcast, fucked up Shenmue, and here we are fucking 19 years later. That's how long it takes to get a fucking sequel thanks to this asshole. That piece of shit. And here's the thing, when Shenmue 3 got announced, this motherfucker had the nerve to open his fucking mouth. People actually put a microphone in his asshole's face when he ruined Shenmue 2. And he ruined Shenmue 3. Shenmue 2 smelled shit on fucking American Xbox. Xbox was not ready for no fucking no title like Shenmue, okay? It had no prep, it had no marketing. It was shitty. It had the best game it had on it was fucking Obi-Wan. It had shitty games on the original Xbox. When Xbox came out, it had no fucking games. The best game it had was Halo. And everything else was complete shit. Halo was like triple A tier, and everything was like negative A tier, like triple B tier, triple C tier. All these C tier games on fucking Xbox. I got that like when it was like 2001 or something, after it had been out for a while, and it still didn't have any fucking games. You had to wait till like fucking Halo came out. And even after Halo, there's nothing out for a long time on the regular Xbox. It sucked. People playing shit like Brute Force. But that's neither here nor there. The thing with Shenmue now is there's a bunch of fucking pieces of shit who didn't even contribute to the Kickstarter and wanted to talk shit about the game. It's a good game. Okay, is it as good as Shenmue 1 and 2? No, because they don't have the budget or the staff. They had like 300 people working for Yu Suzuki when he's working on Shenmue 1 and 2. So that's how many people he had working on it. He's like maybe 50 people at best. I'm stretching to say 50 people on Shenmue 3. And it was a Kickstarter budget with fucking $6 million. Didn't have that much money. And not only that, he didn't rest on his laurels, and he wanted to add ragdoll phases to the combat. So the combat got remade from the ground up. And he wanted to add more moves. He wanted to just fucking settle on the same moves they had from Shenmue 1 and 2, which were a lot, by the way. And then just kind of just tack on maybe a few more moves for Shenmue 3. It's a sequel. He wants more moves. So the way he changed up the combat is not... I don't like the controls that much in this new version, but the way he made the controls made it... There's enough room for variation that you can have more moves, a full sequel for moves plus the old ones, because he cut out a few of the old legacy game moves, but not that many of them. And if it would use the old combat system, right? If it used the old combat controls in Shenmue 3, he would have to like swap out moves. You would have to like say swap out a command for a move between three different game moves. Okay, it's like back, forward, forward would have to cover three different moves, and you have to choose which move you would assign that to. That's the only way it would have worked, because that's how Shenmue 2 worked. And Shenmue 2 was kind of wonky a little. It was good, right? Don't get me wrong, but you couldn't use all the moves all at the same time. Some moves had to be swapped out. So nobody really wants that. You want to have all your moves available at all times. So anyway, it's a great game. Even with that caveat out of the way, yeah, Shenmue 3 is still a good game, even though the throws got removed, and they got removed and got it like completely downsized to the point where he only has a reverse body check. If you want to talk about a complete throw move, one move he has is the reverse body check, which you spend like 5,000, 3,000 credits or whatever to buy the move and then learn it from a guy, and then you can only use it in cinema. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But the reason it's like that is because he wanted to add more Baji-Quan attack moves in the game, and he worked out a new ragdoll physics engine and everything for the game, completely with wall splats and wall physics and everything. And there was no time to just add new physics and a whole new set of throws plus new physics on top of that. So this will be in Shenmue 4. The throws will come back in Shenmue 4. They'll be legit. Now, Shenmue just has a certain je ne sais quoi. Okay, it's a je ne sais quoi. It has this untapped quality. You just play the game because it's immersive. It's open world. It has a little day in the life quality to it, and it's like another thing you have to know about Shenmue. To like Shenmue, appreciate it. It's not necessary, but it helps. Is like if you're a martial artist, because the whole thing's from the point of perspective of a martial artist. He's like a young martial artist. He's learning moves from different people he meets along the way, just like a martial artist does, and gets better and better over time. See, that's the part that kind of got lost in this version in Shenmue 3, because back in Shenmue 1 and 2, a character would give you instructions how to do moves. So you say step forward and step again, or you say step back and step forward, and then kick. So if he's telling you those verbal cues, you can guess what the move is, because you can just go back forward, or back forward kick, or back forward punch, depending on what he's saying. So you can kind of figure out the input for the move based on what he's saying. But being now Shenmue 3 is just all button based, so stepping forward and stepping back is not much of a factor. And now it's kind of a mishmash. So you kind of do that, but at this point it's kind of more like, you know, for the most part, the X button and the circle button correlate to your feet, and triangle and square correlate to your hands, but it's not a hard and fast rule, so it would be hard for you to figure out how to do moves based on that. But still, there's points where you have to learn from combat people, martial artists, and that's one of the coolest points in the first half of Shenmue 3, is when you have to learn from Master Sun. So that aspect, that charm of the game is still there, and that's something that's not in Yakuza, okay, or most modern games. You really don't learn that much from most fucking NPCs. You just either know what you know and that's it, and you just go through the game mashing over and over again, and he may just learn something automatically. It just pops into his head once you level up to a certain point. There's no real learning factor from like a mentor situation, a master student situation like this in Shenmue. And that continues in the second half when Master Bay teaches you some moves. So that's a good aspect of the game. That's that kind of factor you just can't, people don't do anymore. Okay, just something that just gets lost in the shuffle now of these modern games. Anyway, so what? Yeah, I didn't even play really Neo. I played part of it, but I didn't really finish it. And I played a lot of Bloodborne, and it definitely doesn't have any of that, like learning from another character. That's not even in that Bloodborne. They kind of just gloss all over. Anyway, so when I'm talking about copy old new games suck most of the time. Last time there was a decent freaking game, was an adventure game, was probably Assassin's Creed 3. And you notice how it got kind of lambasted, and then the media didn't really like that game so much because it was in a Caucasian as a main character. Anyway, so this game it has the same quality it always had. And here's the thing: the people who like love Shenmue, they're so few and far between nowadays, and it is mostly relegated to the people that contributed to the freaking Kickstarter, the 69,000 people that contributed to the Kickstarter. So all these shit talking assholes on the internet, they're talking shit about the games. They had no idea about Shenmue. They're just some dickheads who bought the game off the shelf, sold it for $39.99, and GameStop and bought it. And so they're judging you just from that alone, saying, "Oh well, why doesn't it finish the whole story?" Like, oh asshole, when did it ever finish the whole story in Shenmue 1 and 2? And that's not how the game works. The story moved in pretty much the same pace it moved in any other game, any other Shenmue game. It's just like it's a macro view of his life, so you're supposed to soak in every little detail of the world and all the characters, and then the story may continue, and it'll move the goalpost a few points, and then you'll move on to the next game, and it's entertaining in and of itself. And Shenmue is more like a sum of its parts. It's not about just completing the story. It's not about just doing the combat moves, and it's not just about, say, just one mini game or another. It's like a combination of all the mini games together, the whole experience of learning moves and the combat all put together in one thing. It's like a whole experience. It's not really one thing. So for you to say it didn't move the story forward, moving the story forward was never the main focus of Shenmue, any of the Shenmue games, 1, 2, or 3, because it's the whole sum of its parts. It's like an experience. It's a sum of its parts. It's like saying a carnival. You don't just like pick apart a carnival because you didn't like the fucking carousel and the carnivals. The old carnival sucked. It's not how it works. There's several parts of the carnivals. There's bumper cars. There's the carnivals. There's a freak show or whatever. There's a magic show. There's the fucking whatever live performances. Okay, and then there's the carnival games or whatever you play for prizes. But it's not what the carnival is. That's what Shenmue is. It's kind of like a carnival video game. So yeah, I don't know. People just don't get it, and it's like a lot like freaking Star Wars when Star Wars came back. It was going for 16 years, and you know, freaking George Lucas knew what the fuck he's doing. He created the goddamn thing, so he continues it the way he wants to continue it, and some assholes don't tell him, "Oh, it should have went a different kind of way." So it's not good because it didn't go the way I expected it to go. It didn't just copy and paste the original trilogy and just do it over again in the fucking prequels. It would make no fucking sense in the first fucking place. Why would you make it a prequel? It would be like the fucking movies before it. Anyway, I mean, and that's the same thing kind of like with this, because Yu Suzuki knows how to make a Shenmue game. He created Shenmue, and then people were telling him, "Oh, you should have did it like this way. You should have like somebody else." Like that's not how it works. He set the pace how it goes, and he makes it how he's supposed to make it. Some backseat quarterback wants to tell him how to fucking make the game, or he should have fucking advanced the story more or whatever. Like, shut up, dickhead. You know what they're fucking talking about. The game has the same mini games it had before. It just changed some of them and then it lost some of the Sega games. Fine. But you really want to keep playing Afterburner over and over again and fucking Space Harrier? You already played Space Harrier in other two games. You really don't need it. It's just fine the way he made it now. He made it now. He made some new original games. They were biomechanical. There was like electrical mechanical, and there was one game that was an actual video game. That stupid with the whatever, the Chobu fighter or whatever. It's okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a great game, and is it as good as the old ones? No, because it didn't have the budget to be as good as the old ones and be as wide as the scope. But what the good parts of it, they focused on the good parts of it. They could put in the game and they made it as good as possible. Okay, and like say like the Fight Clubs. There were way more Fight Clubs in Shenmue 2, but look, there's maybe only one or two Fight Clubs in here, but they're fun still, and they're focused. And they're easy to find. There's one Fight Club, and then there's two dojos where you can fight the different fighters in the team in the dojo. So you fight everybody in the roster. So it's a whole fun game. Okay. And the combat is fun. Is it as good as the old games? No, it isn't. But there's some little things you can learn, like just frame dodging, and just frame blocking for certain moves. If it's a big haymaker move, you can parry it. Okay, so if you time it to block just right, it'll parry it. If it's a big haymaker move, a haymaker shoulder ram or a haymaker punch, yeah, you can parry it out of the way. Just takes perfect timing. And also, if you like just frame evade, it slows down time. It gives you a huge opening to hit somebody in the back to counter hit them. So is it as good? It's a good game. It's a worthy sequel of Shenmue. Okay, I mean, here's the thing. I'm impressed that it got as close as they did to the original games. It's damn near as good as the original games. The graphics are actually better, and the little minutiae of the game, of stuff like opening drawers, like opening drawers and searching for items. I thought that part would get lost because it's such a huge world they're dealing with here, and they got such granular detail closing in on little details like every drawer and opening up drawers and searching them. I thought that part would be lost from the game, judging by the scope of the game, how big it was, and then how detailed you had to get with the little environments to even start doing that manual dexterity of checking out every little item in every little room, in several rooms. I'm surprised they put it in the game as much as they did. So it's closer to the original Shenmue's than I ever thought it would be, based on the fact that it hit a lot of ground to cover, has improved the graphics a lot, and it doesn't include that much detail. And, but yeah, so it got way closer than I thought it would. Now, as far as this, I mean, you can't be a real Shenmue fan and not fucking appreciate this. You gotta appreciate it. And it also, when you play the the freaking DLC and you can play as Ren, only a real Shenmue fan can appreciate that, because Ren has been in the game for so many years and he became like a fan favorite. And when you see him come back in the game in that part 2, the second half of the game, it's like, oh shit, Ren's in the game. But the same thing of Neo's son. See, like, people say the story didn't advance in this game, but the story did advance in the game. People don't understand the significance of the story, because we've been waiting for freaking 17 years for Neo's son to show up in Shenmue 3. They've been previewing her for like years and years, and all they showed is one little video clip of her talking. Okay, a little video clip of her in the forest in the winter, and we knew that was going to be part of Shenmue 3. And they showed maybe one picture of her here and there, and that's it. And I think she was on the Shenmue passport. The most viewers on Neo's son you got was her and talking on the Shenmue passport, and that's it. So we're waiting for years and years and years or so. So she's become famous without even being in the game yet, really, from us just waiting for her to come out. And I don't know how many years we were looking at that one picture, the Chiyo men, the 4 Chiyo men, on the cover on the front page of VFDC for the longest fucking time, waiting for that goddamn game to come out. And all we had to go on was one picture of the Chiyo men with the 4 Chiyo men, and like 2 of them in shadow, and only Landy and Neo's son is visible. And the only other picture we had to go on was one little picture from one of AM2's expos in China or Asia, and it had a little concept art of Neo's son that you could see. And that was it. And we had nothing else to go on for years and years and years and years and years. So for some reason, you finally see Neo's son in the game. Even though she shows up in the 3rd act and she was hiding in plain sight during the 2nd act. Okay, for her to show up is a big fucking deal. If you don't know, you're just some stupid asshole kid who just fucking got the game this now, some 15-year-old asshole. You don't understand. You were even fucking alive when the Shenmue 2 was out, and you're waiting for Neo's son to show up in Shenmue 3. So you see Neo's son now, you don't know who else she is. She's just some lady. You don't know what you're talking about. I've seen the story in advance. You don't understand the significance of the story because you never fucking played the first fucking games. People who just got that stupid HD fucking PS4 HD Shenmue 1 and 2 remaster, which was a piece of shit, by the way, because everybody said it was full of fucking bugs and glitches and it broke down and it fucking had to get patched like 10 times where it actually worked perfectly when the fucking original games worked just fine on the damn Dreamcast. So you don't know what you're talking about, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. People are talking about shit about Shenmue 3 now. They don't understand that, Shenmue 2, 1 and 2 had a kind of a short story, and it wasn't about the story anyway. It was about the overall experience. And we got a big addition to the game with Neo Sun. And the fact that you don't conclude the story of her, well, that's fucking Yu Suzuki's right to do, and you have no idea. They probably make the next game based on Neo Sun. And this game was a Kickstarter game anyway, and they had to fucking finish the story of her father, of Shenhua's father getting kidnapped. So it went the way it did. You know, Ryo is not fucking Superman, okay? He can only do but so much in one game. The mere fact that he had nothing to go on and he was 2 days behind by the time he showed up. Yeah, he's gonna have to take some time to find and rescue Shenhua's father. What the fuck do you expect? Anyway, overall, I give it, I'd say an 8. If the throws were in the game, I'd give it a 9. But whatever. What can you do? The throws will be in the next one. And like I said, it's more like now the actual real Shenmue fans are not even gonna be in forums or shit like that. Even when you look at what's name, it's full of these ingrate assholes that had nothing to do with the original Shenmue 1 and 2 in a Shenmue Dojo. Even the Shenmue Dojo is a travesty. These fucking assholes just talking shit about the game because they're not real fucking fans. They're just assholes with an internet account and too much time on their hands. Real Shenmue fans don't fucking even fucking talk in forums anymore. It's over. It's been so fucking long. Most of them have fucking kids and grandkids now. If you look at the guest book in the Shenmue 3, the guest book in the Niawu Hotel, everybody has like kids and grandkids, and we're all married now. Everybody's done. All my contemporaries, they're not on fucking Shenmue Dojo, not that either. Now neither am I anymore. I went on there a few times to just tell off those assholes and give them a piece of my mind on what piece of shit parasites they are, and that's about it. And anyway, Shenmue fucking Dojo went down the toilet if you're gonna let a bunch of assholes talk shit about a game. You should. They're not real fans. It's not a real fan site anymore. It's a joke. They're just desperate for users and they let those assholes say whatever the fuck they want. And it's more of a fucking riot in there now. It's like a few people, mostly the moderators who can't even maintain control of the damn room, or the few people that actually say anything positive about the game, and there's a bunch of shitheads who criticize it. I mean, everybody else quit, man. Everybody else who actually are real Shenmue fans don't fucking post on the internet anymore. Who even bothers with it anymore? So it's the voices that we are hearing here, a bunch of dickhead ingrates and parasites. I mean, who cares if they advance the story completely in Shenmue 3 and finished it? They would just move on to the next game anyway, because there's parasites, and just play something else next month. I mean, it's better for Yu Suzuki to finish the story the way he wanted to finish it. Make Shenmue 4 and make Shenmue 5, and then finish it. So, I mean, it's the same thing with freaking all these people that hated the prequels, supposedly hated the prequels or whatever. I mean, please, they're not real fucking Star Wars fans. Real Star Wars fans that actually wanted to know the damn story of Darth Vader and wanted the prequels and liked the prequels the way they fucking were. It's just a bunch of shitheads or like the new people who are pretending to be fans talking shit on the internet. And they weren't bad movies, and they were a hell of a lot better than what we got in 2015 and 17 and 2019. Okay, because the whole J.J. Abrams Disney Star Wars was complete shit. It didn't even make fucking sense. So that's neither here nor there. What they did good with the Shenmue 3, a few things they did good in Shenmue 3 that they didn't do in Shenmue 1 and 2 was say like the dojos. The dojos that were in Shenmue 2, they were just kind of window dressing. They were there and the characters just NPCs. You can only talk to the master or you couldn't fight any of those guys in the school. So you could see that Yuki Suzuki had an idea for this game, and he made it more like the way he would have wanted to make it the old game if he had a chance. So he added the fact that you can just fight any number of the fighters in the school, besides just having it just be there and not serve any real function, so you can train and level up your kung fu skills. So in that respect, Shenmue 3 is an improvement. Yu Suzuki is like an auteur director, like a David Lynch or a Quentin Tarantino, and then they're gonna turn around and say Shenmue should be like more conventional games. Well, as director's not a conventional director. Games not gonna be like conventional games, and modern games they haven't gotten that much modern, not in recent years, opposed to what Shenmue was. Matter of fact, they're lazy and scaled back and broad. So you couldn't tell Quentin Tarantino or David Lynch to make his movies like modern shit movies, which mostly are shit, or just Marvel movies lately. So why would you go around and tell Yu Suzuki to make his fucking games like modern games, which cut corners and are pretty much garbage? Well, it's bullshit. It's just a lack of respect, and it's a matter of people being threatened by Yu Suzuki's pedigree of hit arcade games as he made for freaking 30 years. Director of Space Harrier, Outrun, Afterburner, Hang On, Virtua Fighter, and then you're gonna turn around and tell him how to make his games. Please, if he followed stupid conventions, Virtua Fighter never existed, and modern games wouldn't be the way they are in the first fucking place. It's really bullshit. And the people who are saying that are just lemmings from shitty fucking sites like GameSpot and IGN. We have no taste in games that play the shittiest games with the least amount of skill required possible, like Persona. The fruitiest shit you can imagine.